Brothers, sisters, I bid you welcome. I am CritEyus of the Adeptus Astartes, Ultramarine of the 2nd Company, and it is my solemn duty today to deliver unto you a report of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. When I first beheld this relic of the omniscience craft, I approached with caution. The artisans of Saber Interactive, though mortal and frail, carried the weight of expectation heavier than an Imperial Titan. They knew their charge to honor the legacy of the Emperor's chosen, and brothers, by the grace of the Omnissiah, they have not faltered. From the moment I activated the machine spirit of my Steam cogitator, the game's dedication was clear. Every bolt of shell fired, every roar of the chainsword, and every battle cry of the Adeptus Astartes is steeped in righteous authenticity. And therefore, I could not help but share some screenshots of this righteous purging on Astartesgram. Really proud of this one. But before we charge further, brothers, let me remind you of your own duty. Strike the like button with the force of a thunderhammer, leave your thoughts inscribed within the comments below, and subscribe to the channel of this machine spirit. For in doing so, you honor the Emperor and ensure that our crusade for content continues. Now, steel your hearts, brothers and sisters, and let us charge into the fray. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 is no mere game. It is a battlefield made manifest, a sacred simulation of war in the Emperor's name. Every clash and every strike and every drop of alien ichor spilled upon the battlefield echoes the eternal struggle of the Imperium. Here you are no bystander, you are an Ultramarine. You are Titus, and you shall know no fear.
Yes, my lord. Transmitting command now. Stand back, Ultramarine.
Combat in Space Marine 2 is not simply gameplay. It is a hymn of holy destruction. Each pull of the bolter's trigger sings to the Emperor's glory, and each swing of steel carves prayers into the Xenos tide. The Tyranids are relentless, brothers, but so too is your chainsword, and if it is not sticky with alien ichor, then you dare not call yourself Space Marine. Heed my words, brothers and sisters. In this battlefield, there is no crouching cowardice behind cover. If you wish to hide, consider a career with the Astra Militarum. Nay, here one must burn, kill, purge. The melee combat sings with righteous fury as one cuts through alien chitin like an orc battle wagon through friendly grots. But even amidst this unrelenting carnage, the game finds balance. It masterfully captures the controlled chaos. Oh, my apologies. The controlled mayhem of battle, ensuring every swing of your blade and every roar of your bolter feels effective, just, and satisfactory. The campaign's strength lies not just in its unrelenting action, but its cinematic and climactic moments. Each fight with Tyranid monstrosities challenges your skills, forcing you to adapt and remember our training. These foes are not merely enemies, but tests of faith and strategy, demanding precision and fury in equal measure. Yet there are challenges. The balance of battle shifts as it must, and the artisans continue to refine their work, taking to heart every cry of a fallen brother. And while the Song of War resembles the notes of Doom or Gears of War, it is no mere shadow of these past tales. It does not feel as though one walks the path of a lesser imitator. This is Space Marine true and just. Were it not, we would be instead slaughtering those saber artisans for heresy. Now, I must warn the faint of heart, this is no gentle conflict. Difficulty is the forge in which progression is tempered. One's first operation is taken as an initiate, poorly equipped to endure the enemy's onslaught. But being downed is not the end, brothers. It is merely a chance to assert, with great volume, how your brothers ignored the lictor that you clearly called out several times, with pings. Yet, through persistence you ascend, earning strength and firepower befitting a true Astartes. And when at last you board the Thunderhawk after challenges both ruthless and lethal, a mountain of Xenos and heretics at your back, you can rest knowing your duty is fulfilled, the Emperor's message delivered, and that you've earned the great spoil of another wax sticker for your left boot. However, Brother Titus's campaign, while just, lacks these evolving spoils of operations. Once the campaign is conquered, there is little incentive to return. His efficiency may leave one with an itchy trigger finger. Expanding operations mechanics into the campaign could breathe new life into its replayability. Yet, the artisans have not been idle. New operations and weapons ever find themselves before the Astartes to expand the battlefield, and oh how I long to bear these toils against humanity's enemies. Now, heed my words, brethren. When embarking upon one's destiny in the skin of Brother Titus in the campaign, one cannot deny the faithfulness of those Saber artisans, for his mission is grounded firmly within the grim darkness of our age. It is no epic saga to rival the tales of Guilliman or the legends of Sanguinius, but it fulfills its purpose, as must we all. And in this, the campaign is just. Mostly. F*** Leandros. I still recall fighting alongside Brother Titus against the hordes of orc filth upon the forge world of Grail. Our camaraderie was firm and unbreakable in the face of our foes. And in his new campaign, Lieutenant Titus and his battle brothers bring an engaging tale, and though perilous predictions of their accord may arise, the story yet carries revelations. And I must include the fine touch that is the connection between operations and campaign, with the former portraying the deeds of other Astartes, operating parallel to Titus's primary directive. And yet some brothers lament that their slaughter is cut short, expecting a longer campaign for the thrones they invested. Yet I do not join in these cries. While Titus's tale may not stretch across a great deployment, it does not feel lacking when combined with the carnage of operations and arenas. Were the campaign the only carnage on offer, perhaps I would understand these laments. But with the full arsenal of content, my thirst for Xenos blood was thoroughly quenched. And let us not forget the artisan's ongoing toils, brothers, a rare gift in this galaxy that so loves to demand thrones for future glory. Now I must neglect not the Emperor's light that shines brightly upon the craftsmanship of Space Marine 2. Towering hive cities scrape the heavens, and the Gothic spires of imperial cathedrals command reverence. These are not mere backdrops, they are monuments to the Emperor's glory and the unyielding toil of his servants. The Tyranids, vile and innumerable, swarm over these landscapes like an unstoppable plague, their sheer numbers inspiring both dread and determination. The scale makes even an Astartes feel small, like a plastic figure in a world of thousands. An entire battlefield that, even in miniatures, no mere human could ever afford to collect or paint. There is not a single element of this game, be it Bolter, Astartes, or the insides of a slain Xenos, that reflects a lack of true faith. Every detail is true to the vast, nigh incomprehensible codex of our universe. The game does not simply show one the Imperium, it commands one's service to it.
My pledge is eternal service.
And neither shall I neglect the performance of this work. Space Marine 2 performs with the precision of a well-maintained bolter. On my personal cogitator, a sanctified machine armed with a holy RTX 3070, it performed with little to no ill will of the machine spirit. I encountered no bugs that I could not slay with bolter or sword, lest my cogitator would have suffered the wrath of my bolter. But let us now turn our gaze to the multiplayer arenas, where the Adeptus Astartes face the vile forces of chaos.
Heretics.
No, I'm doing a review, brothers.
Understood.
Where the Adeptus Astartes face the vile forces of the warp in matches of 6 versus 6, brutal contest of skill and fury. The battles themselves are a test of faith and ferocity, and I found much joy in butchering the heretical forces of the ruinous powers. The maps are expertly designed, offering choke points and ambush opportunities that reward a tactical approach. The progression of cosmetics tied to the operations ensures that the rewards of multiplayer combat are meaningful and align with one's overall objectives. This multiplayer provides one another way to embrace the endless war after campaign and operations, a fresh field of battle to hone one's skills and reap the glory of victory. However, the true strength of this mode and game lies in the camaraderie. Whether one is cleansing heretics in the campaign, holding the line in operations, or facing the warp in PvP, the experience is amplified when shared with fellow battle brothers. A squad of 3 Astartes, united in purpose, embodies the very essence of the Adeptus Astartes, a brotherhood forged in the fires of war. Truly, this is an experience best shared, for together, no foe can stand against the Emperor's might. However, I must warn you to be wary of who the Cogitator deems your allies, brothers, for I've endured both the shit talk of Minotaurs deeming the Seeing Guardsmen with better aim, or flesh tearers who scream incomprehensibly into their vox after every kill. But anyway, brethren, I must deliver my final report. Space Marine 2 stands tall as a monument to the glory of the Imperium. The artisans remain steadfast in their cause, delivering an experience true to what humanity desires. They resisted the warp that plagues many creators of our age, and their ongoing additions are given freely, asking no further tribute from the faithful who would spread the Emperor's light. Its combat roars with the fury of righteous destruction, its worlds reflect the awe-inspiring might of the Emperor's domain, and its multiplayer camaraderie strengthens the bonds of brotherhood. However, I would recommend finding yourself new brothers should a Black Templar be named your ally. While I would not have turned down more slaughter in Titus's campaign, I am far from dissatisfied. Indeed, it stands among the finest offerings of this year. Yet I long to wield my chainsword against more of humanity's enemies, as hinted in its climactic moments. Let us hope, brothers, that the future holds even more battles worthy of our service. No creation of mortals is without flaw, and yet this game proves itself worthy of the Emperor's light, and for that, it deserves your attention. But remember, this crusade is not over. Let us carry forward this work together. Purge the heretical forces of the algorithms by smashing the like button. Share your wisdom and thoughts in the codex below, and recruit more faithful by subscribing to the channel of this machine spirit. And that is the sound of my own call, brothers. Our enemies await their ends, and so I must greet them in the Emperor's name. Until we meet next on the battlefield, may the Emperor's light guide your path, and the bolter in your hand strike true, for the Imperium, and for the endless war that binds us all.